Jackie Minton is in the house. I was so excited for this program because Anand is such an amazing guy doing such great work, and Jackie Minton coming back for the fourth time, I think. And third
it's debatable.
Yeah, okay.
We'll have to go times back over a number of years.
I remember the first time you came in, and Jackie is a Catholic musician, recording artist, and writer, and a philosopher at heart and a poet by trade, according to an article I read. I'll need to find out what kind of a philosopher you are. But first time you came in, you gave me a CD, and I remember I put it in my car on the way home. I just absolutely loved it. Gave it to my daughters, and at that time I was driving them to and from Mount St. Michael Catholic School every morning, and we were listening to it on a regular basis. And beautiful voice, beautiful music. So, and a lot going on in your life right now, isn't there?
There is.
Exciting times. Let's talk just about yourself, your music, before we get into the other things like the LP and the single and all that. Have you always been a singer? How did this get into you? How many albums? Tell us a little bit about yourself as a musician.
So I started writing when I was 11, for better or for worse, and recorded my first project right after I graduated high school at the ripe age of 18, and released that in 2016 at the top of that year, and have been writing ever since and recording on and off. I moved to Nashville to study songwriting and lived there for about 3 years before the Lord told me to move back to Texas in 2021. So I've been back since then.
So you were there during COVID. That must have been kind of challenging.
I was. Honestly, it was a really good place to be during all of that. It was a really blessed experience I had a really great community. And so in the midst of all of the uncertainty, there was still a solid foundation. It felt kind of like being at home in the midst of all that. But it's funny, when most people were shut down, I ended up doing a series of house tours that summer. In the Midwest and around Nashville, and we had a great old time.
Just going into somebody's house and playing for small groups?
Yes, exactly. And most of the time they were in the back, like somebody's backyard, and did that with a group called Love Good Culture, and it was really, really blessed.
That's pretty creative to do that. You strike me as, I mentioned about a philosopher at heart and a poet. You're deep in a good way. I mean, your songs are packed with meaning. These are not frivolous songs. Would I be right about that?
I hope so. I try to put a lot in there. Sometimes I wonder, is this coming across? But yes, it's funny. I walked into my admissions office when I was in college, and they made all of the songwriting majors pick a minor of any kind. You could do anything. And so I walked in and I was like, can I do philosophy? And they were like, oh, you songwriters do it all the time. You're not the first one.
So tell me, because I guess I could say a philosopher. I teach St. Thomas Aquinas, and I read the history of philosophy and teach it all the time. But how does philosophy, what do you mean by that? And how does philosophy enter into your writing process?
Yes, I think it's subconscious. I've always when it comes to ways that I enjoy to spend my time, I love to close up and think, to sit down and read. And so that's just a part of my spirit. And writing is a part of that. It's like digesting the thoughts and getting them out of my system. So I think that's how they come across in my music. Yeah.
You probably remember who I compared you to, and at the time you had not heard of her, but I think you went, and then Karen Carpenter is who I said, who is...
And people have said it to me since then.
Oh, is that right? Yes. And that is a very, very big compliment, because I think, and a lot of people would agree, Karen Carpenter has one of the most beautiful voices, very soulful music. Of course, God rest her soul, she passed away. Yes. But does anybody... So you hear Karen Carpenter. Do you hear anything else, or any other musicians that you look up to that you...
Oh, absolutely. A whole slew. One that is a similar thing. I was probably 13 the first time that I heard it, but somebody asked me if I had heard of Joni Mitchell. Yeah. And I think at that point I had convinced my parents to play so much Disney Channel I didn't know the classics, which is unfortunate, but I've made up for it since then, or tried my darn hardest. So,
yeah. Now, you sent me an article over, and I want to kind of get now transition into the things that are going on this year for you. Yeah. You just released in the last week, I think, a single called Understand. We're going to play a clip of that, but I want to get a little bit of information about that. And it says, in a world full of tension, Understand puts words to the subconscious of today, but Jackie Minton didn't do it in a typical folk fashion. Instead, she gave us an indie rock anthem. And then it says, in a moment as shocking as Dylan at Newport in 1965. I'm like, wow. So this
claim.
Little switcheroo or a different kind of genre for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or what? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. This was a song, when I wrote it, I brought it to my friend Zach, who produced it, and I was like, I'm going to say this with like a grain of salt, but in my head, when I wrote it, I just heard a punk song, and I was like, I don't want to go all the way there, but I'd love to bridge that gap somehow, have some sort of punk element. So we just kept adding electric guitar to this song, which is so not me, but I think we did it in a way that was tasteful and is sincere to the spirit of the song and keeps it fun and light.
Yeah. I should say this is the first release on an album, and you got to help me with the pronunciation. Is Sagesse? Sagesse. Okay.
Yes.
I asked this one. I said, how do you pronounce that? She said, ask Jackie.
Yes. It's French. I know. I'm so mean to everyone.
We're going to play some of Understand here in a moment, but it's a continuation of another EP called Genesis, a compilation of 7 songs inspired by the 7 books of wisdom. So this is very scriptural.
Yes.
And Understand is one of those 7 songs.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. So
yes.
real briefly, tell me about Sagesse and what that means, and then we're going to play that clip. And then you're also going to play another song live here, aren't you?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay.
If we have the time.
So tell us about Sagesse.
Yes. So Sagesse is French for wisdom. And as I've been writing, and I was contemplating what's the name of my next projects coming up, and I was actually listening. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's a Catholic poet named Claire McCallan. She's she's connected with Project Finding Calcutta too. So it's hilarious that you had on and the founder on just a few minutes ago and getting to see him. But she was giving I found a video of hers where she was talking about I think she'd written a poem from Noah's perspective, and in it she said the word Genesis, and it was like a bolt of lightning. And I was like, my next project is going to be called Genesis, and then I'm going to do something based off the books of wisdom, and eventually we'll get to Revelation. Like that was
right, you're going to go through the whole Bible.
Yeah. So I have songs really planned out for most of the project, but Sagesse is the next piece. So we're
Are you a scripture scholar? I mean, you have to know scripture pretty well to read songs about it, or how do you do the research for that then?
Gosh. Yeah, I think that it just seeps in.
Yeah.
It just seeps in.
Okay, so we're going to play a clip from Understand. Anything else you want to say about this before Sissel plays the clip? Okay, so Sissel's got a section of it, right? It's not the whole thing, but here's Understand by Jackie Minton.
Well, it's supposed to be Understand by Jackie Minton, but it's not playing, so hang on a second.
So let's let's talk about the concert then, and we'll come back to okay, let's do the concert, and then you'll play the song that you have. We know that'll work because you got the guitar and you're here. We know that's going to work. But, okay, so you got a concert coming up, August 16th in Dallas with you and some other Christian musicians, right?
Yes, yeah. It'll be at the Kessler, which is one of my favorite venues in the DFW area, really sweet listening venue. And so this will be my first show there, which I'm really excited for. And I'll be doing that with my friend Cameron Matthew Ray, who's another really talented singer-songwriter, and then Kiara Mullins, who's another Catholic singer-songwriter in the area as well. So really sweet to get to share that night of music with them. And I plan to play through the whole record, Sagesse Live, which will be a blast.
All 7 songs?
Yes, all 7 songs.
Oh, wow, okay. And each one representing one of the books of the wisdom from Scripture, right?
Yes.
All right. So why don't you get ready, and we can give away 2 tickets. This is August 16th at the Kessler, and how many people does it hold, or is it a big venue?
I think that it's like around 300 or so.
Okay. Yeah. So why don't you get ready, and I know you got to get your guitar, and while you're doing that, I'm going to give out the phone number, and Sissel will take the call. The first person to call in, if you'd like to have 2 tickets to the Jackie Minton concert on August 16th. This is going to be at the Kessler Theater in Dallas, right? And call up now, 877 877-757-9424, 877-757-9424. Sissel is on the phone now, and I see the phone is ringing, and so Sissel's trying to work out, I think, some kind of technical difficulty to get this song playing. But yeah, I think we have our winner. But just in case for any reason this one doesn't come through, 877-757-9424. Okay, congratulations. So tell us what you're going to play, and play away, Jackie Minton.
Awesome.
What's this one going to be?
Gosh, so this was a decision I was making right before. I'm gonna stick to my gut on this. This is this is a song called Magdalene.
Okay. Are the mics in good place there? Okay.
You tell me. How does this?
Yeah, I can hear you and I can hear it. Yeah.
Great. So written from the perspective of Mary Magdalene, but the very opening of the song is taken straight out of the book of the Song of Solomon.
Okay.
So here it goes. In the midnight, I did not find the one whom my heart loves. So by the moonlight, I searched for streetlights to find the one whom my heart loves. I had hardly even left, taken a few steps when I found you. Oh, I found you. I sought and found, I sought and found, I sought until I found you were sitting as they were watching, but they couldn't see your fate. So I knelt down, poured the oil out, and they asked me why this waste. Oh, how they trouble me, but it's told in memory. I sought and found, I sought and found, I sought until I found you. You saw me weeping, or you were gardening, planting, pruning round the tomb. You asked politely, but I denied thee. I couldn't tell that it was you. Woman, why do you weep for the one your soul to keep has found you? Always found you. If you carried him away, tell me then where he lay. I've seen the Lord, I've seen the Lord, I've seen the Lord, the one you're looking for.
Wow, very nice, very nice. Thank you so much. That is so beautiful, just to be able to do that like that. Sounded like studio quality there. But Jackie Minton there with Magdalene. Yeah, we are in the studio, so it should be studio quality. Yes, yeah. Nan asked me, he said, is she bringing her guitar? And I said, I don't know. She didn't mention, but I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much. You can find out more about Jackie's music and also get the concert tickets at JackieMinton.com. Now, the Sagesse EP is coming out before the end of the year. Okay, are you on track for that? And what's the?
Yes and no. It's right now. I just got the master, the final version of the next single, but all the songs are quick behind each other.
Okay.
So they're almost ready. So I think that they should be ready to come out before.
We got our winner for the tickets.
Awesome.
And I don't know who that. I saw the name pop up, but Sissel can. I guess we'll be in touch with the winner. Do we have the song or no?
I'm having some technical difficulties that our engineer can only fix, but I'm going to try something else. So y'all chat amongst yourselves and let me see if I can get it to work.
So the whole thing about moving to France now.
Right.
Yeah, you're naming repeats after French words and all that. So
Right.
so you went to France, and
Yes.
why were you there? And then it must have made a pretty big impression on you.
Absolutely.
But tell us that story.
Yeah, so I was planning to go to France with a mission organization in 2020. And then 2020 happened.
2020 was a rough year.
Yeah, the trip got canceled. It ended up being really blessed. I got to record my last full-length project, Earnest Voice, over that time, and then released that later that year. But in my heart, I started studying French too. It was like, okay, I'm going to start getting ready for whenever the Lord opens this door. And so I knocked on it again in 2022. And asked, the same mission organization, hey, are you guys going again to France? I would love to be a part of that. And they were like, this trip that you had planned on going to is no more, but we are looking for people to go with us to World Youth Day and to be on a team planning for that beforehand. So I got to join the Community of the Beatitudes with their group Beatitudes Missions, which is the community of Father Jacques Philippe, if you're familiar with him. And so beautiful community, incredible time there. And I just felt like I left a huge piece of my heart in France last summer. And so And you know the language, or you're learning now
it?
I do.
Oh, you're fluent?
I'm learning.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Maintenant, je parle un peu.
You applied for a competitive teacher's assistant program run by the French embassy and became fluent in French to prove your candidacy.
Yes.
So when are you going? Will be shortly after the concert, or what?
Yes, a few weeks after. I'll get ready and go, and my contract, I'll start being a teacher's assistant in a town in the south of France.
Okay, and what will that mean for your musical ventures?
Great question.
Keep
100%.
Writing some songs in French, maybe.
Yes, maybe. Yes. So.
And how long will you be there?
It's a 7-month contract that I'll be teaching, and then I could renew it after that. So we'll see where the Lord leads and what He does in my heart in that time. But.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's very exciting.
Yes,
that's very exciting. So, wow, 2024 is a good year for you, isn't it? That's like what we're talking about in a moment ago, and all the things that are going on right now. So, when will people, or can people get the single Understand already, or the other songs are going to come out one at a time? Or I don't even know how the music industry works anymore. It used to be you go buy an album. You know, it shows you how old I am.
I know. No, it's true. So it changes every day.
Yeah. So what do you do when you release songs? They're not on vinyl. Yeah.
Right. So I'm really trying. I want this to be on vinyl so bad.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to put, in a dream world, I would have Genesis on the front side and Sagesse on the back side of a vinyl. But I'm working on getting the pieces of that together. So right now everything will be online. Understand is on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music, wherever you get your tunes. And
well, let me ask you.
Will be like that.
From a writing standpoint, one of the wisdom books is like Psalms, right?
Yes.
And Proverbs.
Yes.
And the Song of Songs. And okay, so let's just take Psalms.
Right. How do you
write a song about Psalms? I mean, it's like so many different types.
Massive.
I mean, how do you even start?
Absolutely. No. So I would say that this was an album where I realized the thread after I had written the songs. So it was more going through my catalog, the things that I've written, and realizing what's the thread that ties these songs together, and realizing that I had songs that had a song that was kind of like a Job song, having songs that have themes of the book of Ecclesiastes. There's a time for everything under the sun, realizing like, oh, I'm using these lyrics, or realizing, oh, this is a paraphrase psalm basically, that is slipping and coming through. And so allowing that thread to be the piece that holds the whole project together was really a fun thing to search for. But I don't think that I could have done it the other way around, to try to write one song for all of the 100 psalms.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I would imagine being in France, at a cafe in Paris. We always joke around on our Friday show about how it would just be so cool for philosophizing to be at a cafe in Paris. It just seems like a very artistic city, and just for lack of a better word, the vibes would be very good for writing. So I can imagine you writing some new songs out there that could really be pretty powerful. All right, well, Jackie Minton is my guest. It's so great to catch up with her. Please go to her website and support, Catholic musicians like Jackie, who are so talented and putting their talent to good use for the glory of God. JackieMinton.com. The concert is on August 16th. What day of the week is that going to be?
It's a Friday night.
Friday night, August 16th, and you can get your tickets on that website as well. Her album is called Sagesse, which is a continuation of Genesis. Her new single is called Understand, and she's moving to France later on this year. Anything else going on that you want to mention, or is not that there needs to be anything else? I think that pretty much covered.
I think you got it all, Dave. Thank you so much.
All right, and I don't know that we're going to be able to play.
I think I might have actually done it.
Okay,
we'll see.
Okay. Well,
I feel badly trying this a second time. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be most sad, but let's give it a shot. How don't we?
All right, let's give it a shot. Here we go. Oh, I think it's working.
We don't have to agree, but we could settle some things. Like you don't have to be mean to get your point across to me. We don't have to know, you should know by now that I don't. But I'll try to do the best I can. What if we try to understand?
Yeah, that's more fast paced, and that's very catchy. That was a toe tapper.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you, Sissel, for getting that going. All right, that's a good way to close out the interview. We're out of time. Just direct people to the website JackieMinton.com and get out to that concert and support her. And otherwise, she's going to leave the country if you don't. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Thanks a lot for being here. Good to see you. Thanks for your either third or fourth visit. Okay,
yes,
we're gonna figure that one out.